Behind the Scenes. I am your host, Hector Montalvo. This show is dedicated to asking tough questions for you, the viewers. We bring you their responses, and we let you decide. Joining us here today at our MCTV studios, we're honored to be sitting with representative from Comcast, Mr. Marc Goodman. Mr. Goodman, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Hector. Appreciate the opportunity. Great to be here today.
Thank you. We're glad to have you. Mr. Goodman, tell the viewers some of the services that Comcast offers to the people of Methuen or people around the communities throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's a great question. So we like to keep our customers on the cutting edge of innovation, really within Methuen and throughout the Bay State and really throughout New England. So we're offering more on demand with 25,000 on-demand programs each month, more HD, and faster internet speeds over 100 megabits per second to our customers. So we feel like we're offering the most innovative services at the best value.
Nice. Now, we know that local access is paid for by the consumers that pay their cable bills.
Yes.
Can you tell us what are some of the things that Comcast does so that people can have local access?
Yeah, it's a great question. Access is really important to Comcast. And what we'd look to do is ensure that any community that has access television, that access television is treated appropriately and cared for appropriately. So what that means is the video quality and sound quality are maintained at a high level, and also they have an appropriate place in the channel lineup as worked out with their particular community. And you put it perfectly. It's up to the customers to really support access. There's a particular part of the cable bill, at least for our bills, that specifically break it out so each customer knows what's going towards their local access. And I think people enjoy knowing what's happening in their community. And access is really more and more being turned and controlled by the residents. So it's really up to people to get involved. So I really encourage people to take advantage of their access studios, come in, volunteer, take advantage of a training, and see what access has to offer.
And they have a lot of great shows, especially this one, Behind the Scenes, that it's viewed throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's on YouTube. And that's some of the stuff that people can do. They can come into local access, share their ideas, and it's paid for by their money, by them paying their actual cable bill.
Right.
How many households does Comcast cover, just, let's say, just Methuen area right now?
Yeah, I can't share a specific community number sector, but I can tell you we have about 1.6 million customers in Massachusetts. So, we take that responsibility very seriously, and customers vote for us each month when they pay their bills. And so we're looking to provide the most innovative services, but back it up with local service. So we have local employees responsible that live in the community and roll out in their vans to serve their customers in Methuen and other communities throughout the Bay State. And we also have something in Chelmsford that we call our local management center. Now that's kind of interesting. You should come in, maybe take behind the scene up there sometime, take it on the road to see this center. What it does, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, watches over our network to ensure that our customers are receiving the services in the manner they expect. So when you hit on demand and watch a movie, you know you're going to see that program in a quality way. Or you turn into MCTV, you know you're going to see your program in a quality way. And if there's a problem, we can route around an issue sometimes, thanks to the extra capacity we have in our advanced fiber network. Other times, if there's an issue that we need to dispatch an engineer to, then we can quickly pinpoint where that issue is and get our local engineers to take care of it and resolve it.
Right, so you have like a secret FBI headquarters over there in Chelmsford, sort of.
No, it's not secret in any way, but something we take a lot of pride in ensuring that our customers receive the services they expect to.
Nice, and we'll definitely take you up on that to take behind the scenes and take a look at Chelmsford and bring that back to our viewers. Now, most communities have other competitions for Comcast. Sure. They have DirecTV, they have Dish Network. I know Verizon Files is out there. Mm-hmm. Why Comcast over all those other organizations?
Sure, it's no question it's an extremely competitive marketplace. There are 2 satellite providers, as you said, in every single community. And there are multiple providers for internet service, multiple providers for phone. But when it comes down to it, overwhelmingly consumers choose Comcast. We're providing the most on-demand, more HD, and fast internet speeds that's backed up by local customer service. And that's really resonated with consumers. We invented the triple play bundle, and we're providing the best value today for customers. And beyond the bundles, unlike our competitors, we provide basic levels of service. So we provide basic cable, which includes access stations and broadcasters. We provide an economy internet service all the way up to 105 megabit service. So I really want to give people options, and that seems to be resonating with our customers.
Now, is Comcast capable of determining which channels people are watching at any time using the features of their set box, their cable boxes?
No, that is not something that we're capable of or really have any interest in being a part of. That's something that's calculated, when you talk about ratings for different television shows, that's calculated by a third party called Nielsen. So that particular company keeps track of how shows are watched and how shows perform based on participants that volunteer to study with Nielsen and keep track of what shows they're watching, and they share those shows with Nielsen directly.
So that's how they determine.
Sample sizes are created, right. The only way that we measure programs are really in aggregate or in group. So total number of on-demand programs watched. So for Red Sox On Demand, when people see a new profile on David Ortiz, its orders are off the charts. Similarly, when we have a new release movie or addition of a new show on demand, like Encuentro Latino, also sees a great response.
Does local access play on demand? Do you have on demand for local access as well?
That's something we're looking at doing in the future. So it's something that are interested in doing, and just trying to figure out the best way to make that work for our customers.
I can tell you that a lot of my viewers definitely want to see behind the scenes with Hector Montalvo on demand, so they can just go in there and watch any movies, any shows that they might miss.
Sure.
So we look forward to hopefully having Comcast provide that pretty soon. Anyways,
the day that happens, I'll be on the show to tell your viewers about it.
Great. Now, what about TV Guide for local access?
Oh, that's a great question. So the way the guide works is that it depends on programmers to send us information so it's in the guide appropriately. But within local access stations, since each community is different and it has a different line, there are even some communities that don't have access to television, believe it or not. But it comes down to, really, it's a cost. But I think as technologies evolve, I think it'll be easier to do so, and certainly something that we'd be open to looking at as technologies evolve and makes it easier and more cost-effective to do that.
Great. Just want to remind the viewers, you are watching Behind the Scenes. I am your host, Hector Montalvo. We're joined in studio with Comcast representative Marc Goodman. If you want to send us an email or you have questions for any of our guests, send it to the Hector Montalvo Show at yahoo.com. You can also visit our webpage at behindthescenes.weebly.com or visit our Facebook page /BehindTheScenes with Hector Montalvo. We did receive some questions from a lot of our viewers,
Great.
And we did pick out a few. The first question comes from Sonia Perkins from Methuen, and she wants to know, what about access television stations who can or want to send their signal in high def?
Sure.
Will Comcast carry it in high def?
Yeah, there's no question that for anyone that's experienced high definition, it really changes the way you watch TV. We hear from countless customers that they only watch in the 800s or 900s where our high definition channels are. So we know that really changes the experience and transforms the viewing experience in the home. And we're also providing 3D TV now. So HDTV is something that we take a lot of pride in. When we first started in this market in New England back in 2003, we had 5 HD channels. Now we have well over 100 and more than 3,000 HD on-demand choices. So HD is only going to continue to grow and expand. But in terms of for HD, for access channels, I think that's something that will happen down the road. Again, it's I think a question of technology evolving, making it easier and making it more cost-effective for the necessary updates to happen in all the different studios and other enhancements that would need to take place in order to support that. So I think that's something that is something more for the future. I can't say when, but I think that's something that could be coming in future years.
The second question comes from Dina Marie LeBron from Methuen, and she wants to know, what have your surveys of community uncovered in how people use and watch PEG channels? Has it changed over the last 5 years?
That's a great question. I'm not sure about what the historical data is, but each time we go and do a cable renewal license in a community, like we're in the midst of doing right now in Methuen, we do a survey process with customers in the community and ask some of those questions. And, generally the response is along the lines of, I enjoy cable access, but I don't want to pay more for it. So that's a balancing act that we do with each community at the negotiating table to really figure out what are the cable-related needs and really what's fair in an extremely competitive marketplace where satellite customers don't pay any access fees. They obviously don't have access channels, but nonetheless it's a competitive balance that needs to be taken into account.
And Carla Smith wants to know from Methuen. She goes, Hector, can you ask the representative for Comcast, with more consumers watching TV on the internet, how can Comcast help local access stations take advantage of that?
Well, that's a great question. Without a doubt, there are more choices than ever in how to watch TV. And Comcast is right in the midst of that with XfinityTV.com. More than 150,000 choices available. Popular shows and other programs. But, like you said yourself at the beginning of the show, your show is already on YouTube, and I think a lot of community stations have seen that and taken advantage of that, which is fantastic, to help get the word out about their show and their messages. In terms of Comcast's personal role, Comcast really is a partner with access stations. They're really community-driven, as is MCTV. It's managed as an access corporation, so it's a nonprofit entity that none of our operators have a role in. So, we can certainly provide some insights along the way, I think, but I think there's already great work underway, and I think there's more of an opportunity for other community television studios to collaborate with each other and really find out what the best practices are and take advantage of that new medium.
Peter Greenberg from Methuen also wants to know, Hector, great show. Can you ask the representative from Comcast, should they include internet revenues so it's shared similar to like video service? Is that something that Comcast does, or?
No, that's not something that's done at all within the industry. There's actually a Supreme Court case a few years back that declared that was not permissible, and so that's why only video revenue is collected at this time.
Really? And the last question is, should Comcast provide high-speed internet to local access stations? And this comes from Mark.
Well, another Mark out there. I was always happy to talk to another Mark. But it's a great question too. Really, we provide actually complimentary internet service to schools and libraries and boys and girls clubs on our network. And I think I noticed here that this particular studio has our service. In terms of providing it on a complimentary basis, that's not something that's being done now, but certainly something we could explore on a case-by-case basis.
Now, you mentioned Xfinity?
Yes.
What is Xfinity versus Comcast?
Sure, that's a great question. So Xfinity is the name of our products and services. So if you look back over the years, our products and services have dramatically evolved. So like I showed you with you earlier, we started off with having 5 high-definition channels. Now we have thousands of HD choices each day and night. And so really, we needed a new way to describe that. And so we went out and set forth to really come up with a name that really puts that innovation to words and describes what we're doing. And that's what that's all about. And it describes the technology platform that's delivering the best entertainment and communication services out there today.
And it's my understanding that Comcast owns NBC, or is in the processing of buying NBC?
That's right. So recently the deal closed for NBC Universal, and NBC Universal is now co-owned by Comcast and GE. And this is really an exciting time for customers, because this will usher in an incredible amount of new entertainment choices and content. And keep in mind, this includes a movie studio and other networks, so there'll be more on-demand choices than ever before. And people can enjoy entertainment in a whole new way. And we've also, as a company, promised a variety of other public service commitments to really invest in local programming and public interest programming along the way. So I think stay tuned, and it'll be an interesting process to watch unfold in the months and years ahead.
Now, what about service calls? How does Comcast handle issues related to weather, power outages and so on?
Sure.
How are people affected? What's the time frame that Comcast responds to such calls?
Yeah, that's a great question. We take a lot of pride in having a reliable network. In fact, it's 99.99% reliable. And like I shared with you earlier, we have a local management center just up the road in Chelmsford that watches over our network in New England. And so anytime there's any issue, sometimes we can even spot it before a customer even notices something's wrong in their house or at their business, and we can route our traffic around that issue on our network or quickly dispatch a technician and our engineers to fix it. And whenever it comes time for any storm, we're preparing days ahead of time. We're watching the forecast just like everybody at home. And we've planned, and we're all seasoned New Englanders and know what to expect from a winter or any time of year when there's weather to come. And we take care and make sure our generators are fueled up, and preparations have been made to have extra supplies in if necessary. And if there's an issue, we work on it and address it as soon as possible. And our employees are incredible and have done absolutely amazing work in the toughest of conditions.
Yeah. And obviously you can see that most of the country has had at least over 60 feet of snow so far, 60 inches of snow. How hard is it for a technician to go out there on a stormy day where they use ladders,
Sure.
bucket trucks and so on, I
Sure.
assume? How difficult is it to be a Comcast technician doing this type of work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Without a doubt, safety is, of course, the most important thing to consider. And all of our employees are very well trained. They have weeks of training before they're even out in a truck servicing their first customer. And they're continuously retrained throughout their years with us. So safety is utmost importance. And they have a variety of tools that they use to make sure that it's safe for them to be there. And we're not on the scene unless it's cleared by the power company and other utilities before we get in there.
Now, we know that with the storm, the electric company lose powers, they have power lines and
Sure.
so on. I believe Comcast uses, if it's aerial, they use RG6 lines or sometimes RG11 lines, coax or whatever. Those lines, do they hold up that good versus the electrical lines that always coming down?
Yeah, no, they really do. And, in fact, again, we take pride in having a very reliable network. And we've made it through these storms in fair shape. And, I have every belief that we'll continue to do so. And if there's an issue, we'll respond and fix it as soon as possible.
What about those that are watching television and probably see some lines going across the television or anything like that? Should that be a concern for viewers? How do they?
Sure. I think anytime a customer has a question or they're not satisfied with their experience, they should definitely get in touch with us. So we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-800-COMCAST, or folks can even chat with us online at Comcast.com or on Twitter. And we'll get out there, and our goal is to resolve any issue the first time the right way and completely take care of it.
Now, you mentioned that Comcast has internet access, internet speed, and they also have cable, and they have phone service.
Yes.
What are some of the phone service? Is there different phone service, maybe digital phone service, maybe over versus over IP, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question, Hector. So, we offer those three services along with some other services too that I'll get to later. But the voice service travels over our privately managed network. So that helps us ensure a quality call experience each time, every time customer picks up the phone. And the way that works is it uses the wiring that's within the home already today, so you can use all of the phone jacks that are there. You can port your number over from another phone company and be up and running and enjoying the service at a great savings.
Now, you said port over the number from another company, meaning
Yes.
you can actually keep your same number that you have?
That's exactly right, yes. So within a matter of a day or two, numbers can generally be ported over from another phone company to us. And that greatly helps a consumer or a business enjoy a new service and new technology instead of plain old phone service at a great savings.
So they can actually take a cell phone number and convert it into a home phone and make it part of a Comcast.
Usually it's really through more of a landline to landline.
Oh, okay, so it's more like if you have Verizon phone.
Yeah,
phone
or even an IP provider like you mentioned.
Nice. And what are some of the other stuff that Comcast offers for the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
So one thing is really business services. So we know there are a lot of small businesses in Methuen and really in the Bay State. And we're offering a solution for them that allows them to get tools and applications that were once available only to big companies. And so, for example, a small business can get Microsoft Communication Services automatically available with business class internet. That includes things like Outlook and SharePoint, so they can collaborate with their business partners and share documents in a cost-effective way without needing an IT help desk. So it's really transformed the experience for a lot of our customers, and we're hearing a lot of good things about it.
Nice. Now, what about, there's a lot of concern in regards to hacking of people's computers, slow computers and so on, anti-spyware and so on. Does Comcast provide anything in the initial setup for some, let's say, some business or homeowner or resident wanted to have internet access? Is there anything that Comcast do to protect individuals' computers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Hector. So yeah, it's really important to us to make sure that our customers and business customers are all protected. And we actually provide the Norton Security Suite for consumers that's available for free at security.comcast.net. So if you're a Comcast high-speed internet customer at home, you can go to that website, download that security suite. And so that includes things like virus protection, spyware protection, and even parental controls. If you have kids that are using the computer and you want to ensure a safe online experience for them, those tools are available at no additional cost. And we also offer a separate package for our business customers, also available at no additional cost.
Tell us some of the cool features that Comcast has for iPhone users or iPads or something like that. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, we do actually. We're really getting into the apps business in a big way. And we recently launched an app called Xfinity TV. And what that enables is controlling your TV. It's almost a remote control. So if you have your iPad at home or your iPhone, you can scroll through the guide, pick the channel, and you can set a recording to your DVR if you so wish, or just change the channel. And you can also, in the coming weeks, be able to watch some on-demand programming along with other live TV later on this year. So it's really exciting and really a transformative moment for our customers.
Can you actually record an actual show as well, I think you just mentioned?
You can, yes. Yeah, so you can get a preview and get a sense of what that particular episode's all about, and go ahead and set that recording right through your DVR.
Nice. Now, what about billing centers, or not too many people may not have vehicles or want to drive out to Chelmsford, or they have to pay their bill. How many offices do Comcast have where people can go in and return their equipment or exchange equipment or pay their bill?
Yeah, sure, that's a great question. We have offices in a number of our communities throughout Massachusetts. So there's one right in Lawrence, for example. And we also sometimes have third-party arrangements, with grocery stores and other places within the community to make it easier for folks to pay their bill or exchange equipment. Also, we make it easier for people to do business with us online at Comcast.com or just over the phone. And sometimes it just can be done automatically by just keying in a few numbers on dialing 1-800-COMCAST through our interactive menu.
Nice. Is there a waiting time from the time someone let's say I call Comcast today, do I have to wait a month or 2 months to get cable service, or can I get it up and running within a couple of days or a week?
Yeah, generally within a couple of days, sometimes even the same day, depending on what a given week is like. So, our focus is delivering a superior customer experience, and whether you're a new customer or a longtime valued customer, we're there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And our goal is to get to the customer as quickly as possible and meet all their needs the first time.
Now, how can the community, the people that have services, can work with Comcast to ensure that they have reliable service? I mean, let's say with the storm, do they go out and clean and shovel the pole area if there is, or does Comcast come in and do that themselves?
Yeah, that shouldn't be necessary. People should just kick back and enjoy their viewing experience in the home. No need to go outside, in difficult conditions. Should just be able to just kick back and enjoy the entertainment experience they have at home, and we'll take care of everything behind the scenes.
Now, I understand that Comcast has high definition box, but they also have something called a DVR.
Yes.
Tell us about a DVR.
Yeah, so that's a great point. And really, it's all about making it convenient for customers. So within one box, you can have a digital video recorder that records your favorite programs in high definition and in standard definition, and also provides you with access to on-demand, along with the interactive guide and parental controls and other features. But through just a click of your remote or a couple touches on your iPad or iPhone or Android app, you can be up and running and recording your favorite programs wherever you are.
And people can get the apps from the App Store?
That's correct.
And what about downloading anything from the Comcast website? Can they get anything in regards to that, anti-software and so on as well?
Yeah, that's right. So all the apps are available respectively through the App Store or through Android apps. Also, we offer the security suite that I mentioned through security.comcast.net. That's our security page. It provides all sorts of information. So if there are alerts about phishing scams or other alerts we want our customers to be aware of, that's a good destination for them to go to. And really provides a lot of information also to help parents ensure their kids are doing the right things online and not sharing too much personal information.
And is there a way for we know that many kids may accidentally hit the wrong button on their cable, and
Sure.
They may order a movie that the parents did not know. Do Comcast offer parental protection and so on?
Yeah, we absolutely do. Yeah, we offer parental controls for our TV. And one of the first questions our technician asks when they're in a home, if they have kids within the home, they'll say, hey, I'm happy to set up the parental controls if you'd like me to do that. And they take care of it, and it's all set up. And the parent establishes a PIN code, and it's up and running. And the parent can obviously unlock it whenever they want to watch a program that they want to watch. But this way it ensures that only the right programs are being watched as set by that household.
Great. And for all those viewers or anyone watching that may want to go and try out Comcast services, how do they get a hold of Comcast if they want phone, internet, or cable? How do they reach Comcast?
Yeah, the best bet is to call 1-800-COMCAST or visit us online at comcast.com or stop by the local service center like the one in Lawrence.
Great.
And you can see products demonstrated firsthand and see all the quality HD service and on-demand programs and high-speed internet service that we have to offer.
I know that people want to see behind the scenes with Hector Montalvo in high def, and I hope that Comcast will bring that to them pretty soon. I want to thank you for coming in on the show.
My pleasure.
Talking to the people about their Comcast and the services that they provide. You've been watching Behind the Scenes. I am your host, Hector Montalvo. I want to thank the crew at MCTV. I want to thank the staff at MCTV. And I want to thank you at home for watching. Join us next time as we go behind the scenes to ask the tough questions, bring you their responses, and we let you decide. Thank you for watching.